G'day Dream Team, it's Nick Maxwell here. I'm about to have a chat with Warnie, but before I do, there's a really important message. The 0.9% of you out there who have me in your Dream Team, what are you doing? I know you're loyal Collingwood supporters, most of you, and I love you for it, but if you want to win Dream Team, I'm not your man. Cheers.
Dream Team's all right with me. Dream Team's all right. Oh, yeah. I'm Roy. I coach Destroy. This is Warn Dog.
Coach of the Warn Dogs.
This is Calvin.
Coach of Calvin,
We are down here at STUBBY in Launceston and we're having a couple of vessels and basically we're celebrating because footy's back. Of course, it's a bit of a weird style of footy. It's a NAB Cup, but we don't care because what that does is give us a bit of a research tool, and I have used that tool to come up with a new segment. It's called Set and Forget, and it's looking at a few of our premium type players that, you know, really seal the deal with good stuff in the NAB Cup. I'm kicking it off. Goddard.
Oh yeah. Nice.
New
Go
club,
Bombers.
new club, looked amazing. Out of his 2 games, he averaged 50 in the shortened NAB style game. Lock him in, set and forget.
Next to Goddard, you've got to have Bryce Gibbs back there as well. 36 and 38, new coach, midfield time. He's got it covered. He is dominating. Get him in.
I'm going up forward. Our boy Rocky.
Our boy.
Basically locks himself as a forward line player. You have to have him. If you don't have him, you're silly. So just make sure he's there because he was good.
I've had this boy every game of his career and it will continue that way. Hep D, Dyson Heppel.
I thought he was a gangster or something.
Well, no, he's not a gangster. He is someone that's averaged in the 80s in his first 2 years of his career, and guess what? He's taken it to the next level. He was cruising through the midfield. He was awesome. Lock him in.
Now, the last guy we look at here, apparently interrupted pre-season, apparently injured, not going to come out firing. Shove that, he reckons. 44 points. Gary Ablett, 12 touches and was tagged. Don't be stupid, get him in to start with.
All right, now we get asked plenty of questions daily about, which rookies are the ones that we should have. So we've spent our time looking at the NAB Cup, trying to find those ones. We can all pick those premium players, but let's find these rookies that can really set up the structure of our team. Calvin, you're going to go, hello, defenders. Let's give us some.
I've got oodles of them. I've got so many to bloody choose from. It's ridiculous back there. Dean Turlich.
Yeah.
He's only played one game for Melbourne. He had 18 points. All right, he's only had one. Keep an eye on him, though. Sam Colquhoun. Keep an eye on this guy. He's 18 years old. He's only played one game in the NAB and he had 19. Now, in the under-18 championships, he had the most touches out of everyone, averaging 28 touches a game. You can get him as a defender. That's bloody good, I reckon. Now, another guy, Jasper Pittard. He didn't do as much as I thought he would. Yeah, he had 22, backed it up with 7 next week. I'm sort of tossing up about him, as I am with Sam Doherty. Everyone had Sam Doherty a few weeks ago. He came out with scores of 14 points and then 13.
Yeah, didn't quite do enough, did he?
No, I didn't like it. Now, the 3 guys I reckon you should be on. Lewis Stevenson. Now, he's 23 years old, but this guy has a bloody cracker of a story. He's Port Adelaide boy. He was with Port Adelaide in 2010 and he averaged 63 points. He played 10 games. 2 years later, they said, hey bro, come back and have a game. So he came back and he's back at rookie price at the age of 23 and he's had games of 20 and 22.
He's ready.
He is, by God he's ready, Roy. Number 2, Nick Velasquez.
Man, you were getting some tough names.
He's telling me
we just done.
He's got the back line. Anyway, now this guy, he was a high drafted rookie. He's with Richmond. He floated around back through the guts as well. He scored 23 and 24, a little bit dearer than the others. Another guy though that everyone is going to have is Brett Goods. 29 years old, if you don't mind. He had scores of 32 and 31, and he's currently in 28% of Dream Team. So it would be a Goods idea to get him in, Roy.
It would be a great idea.
Brilliant.
Right, welcome to Collingwood. We are here in the Westpac Centre at the moment. We're actually going to be talking to the captain, Nick Maxwell, reappointed captain Nick Maxwell. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, mate, and welcome to the Westpac Centre. I know that you probably shouldn't be here being an Essendon supporter, but look, I'll let you in the side door. Just don't tell anyone.
Yep. Is he currently in your team?
Swanee is, yeah, he's flying. I've got Swanee, and I tossed up between Beamsy and Pendles.
That's a big question.
Yeah, I actually went with Pendles.
Right.
And the reason behind that is I just think that he missed probably 5 or 6 games with his broken leg, and his average was still really, really good. So when you do miss games like that, You obviously come back and you've got to try and get your fitness up, and it takes you a couple of games to get back. And Pendle's just been consistent for so long that you just got to stick with him. So I've stuck with him. I haven't told Beamsy because I know he'll get upset with me, but definitely got those two in. The other one that probably a bit of a sneaky one at the moment on my bench is Brent McCaffrey.
Right, so he's on your bench because at the moment he's on my ground. So
yeah, well, I mean you don't know how he's going to go over the next month. He's that real third tall that is a really good player for us up forward. If you think back to 2010, he sort of got 6 to 8 marks a game. Well, in my memory, I don't know, I haven't got a stat sheet in front of me, but I just recall him sort of getting that, and every time you do that...
Well, he has averaged quite well in Dream Team, and missing so much means that he's bloody cheap. He's actually like 130 grand.
Exactly.
So you're not going to find many guys that have been... Well, he's a premiership player.
Yeah, and he's also a lot fitter and a lot stronger than he was 2 years ago.
What about Lukey Ball? Now, he's obviously a best 22 player. He's very underpriced. How's he travelling?
No doubt, he's going well. Probably we've taken a little bit longer with Bally, so... you will see him at some stage during the NAB Cup, and probably the really good thing about him is he doesn't need as many games as a lot of other guys going into the season because he's so naturally fit and just elite with everything he does in terms of his diet and his fitness and that sort of stuff. So if he misses one session on the track, he'll be doing a bike and a boxing and doing all this sort of stuff to make up for a rower. So you know he's going to be fit. And I think with Bally, probably the real bonus is his tackling. He's showed us just how good he is in tight law tackling, and as you know, the bonus points for that.
+4 for that.
But you're going to get a lot of +4s for tackling that you're not going to get with Swanee. So yeah.
What's going on with the ruck structure and ruck setup and all that? What's it looking like at the moment?
Yeah, well, obviously Joel's is our number one. Benny Hudson is a rookie, but he's also, I think, a bit expensive for someone who is officially on the rookie list, despite even if he actually does become the nominated rookie. Jared Witts is obviously a couple of years in the system, and there's been a lot of talk about him in the last couple of years, but he's just getting better and better and starting to really grow into his body and mentally starting to really take it on. So he's really competing with Joel's and Hutto at training. So he's someone who we'll see a fair bit of over the NAB Cup. We really want to throw him in there and see how he goes, as well as managing Joel's load through the pre-season. And of course, Brodie Grundy, as Buck said, he's getting a bit of a slow starter. Just sort of had a bit of a back niggle, so we're going to take our time with him and make sure we get that right, because he's someone who we see being at the club for a long time.
Thanks very much for your time, Maxie, and good luck this season. And I'm sure we'll chat to you during the year and work out, see how you're sitting, and see if we can get some tips off you, or most likely getting some tips off us.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
See, plenty of insight from the great man there, the captain. And check out the full interview with him for some more info about Collingwood and the rest of the league. All right, let's look at the midfields, our rookie mids that we can get in. Going to start off with up in one of the most selected players, Jaeger O'Meara. Jaeger. You say Jagger? Jaeger bomb.
Jaeger.
Anyway, whatever his name is, O'Meara is actually at the moment in over 40% of teams. Good reason for it. He was solid. Two scores of 19 in the NAB games. That's enough. He's locked in the team, and that's what we need to start with.
Good on you, Jagger.
Also, up there, other ones to look at. Jack Warnie, no good. Not really that good. He tagged in both of his games. He had a 15 and a 14. As a tagger, could it be Magna all over again?
I think it's going to be.
It could be.
But if it means he's playing and he's tackling.
And he's cheap. He is the most selected player, so I'm not sure if that might change a little bit after those
good price.
Yep.
If he's locked in, he's a good price.
His teammate, the bloody high draft pick in Jimmy Tumpas. And he is worth 170 grand, so he's got that premium on him. But he played against Richmond and had 41 DT
If you don't mind.
points.
That's a bloody lot of points.
That was probably the most out of all of these dudes.
Definitely.
And
Welcome to
he
the
had
league.
8 touches in that, 3 marks and a goal. So, you know, you've got to look at that.
Bro.
It might be worth paying that extra couple of dollars for, as it could be for Ollie Wines, the man with those massive quads, Quadzilla. He's 156 grand, so he's got that premium. But he had a 27-point game against Security. That was pretty good. He was probably not getting better with age when he played against Adelaide.
No.
Because of the wine.
Only had the 6, but that was due to...
No, I don't think people understood. Because his last name's Wines, that's the joke, isn't it?
Getting better with age.
I got it,
You
I don't
got
think
it.
other people got it because it was so shit.
I got it. I got
Yeah,
it.
we got
I
it.
just didn't laugh.
Yeah,
All right,
chuckled.
let's get into the big dogs. All
Bloody
right,
hell.
at my number 4, I couldn't make a 3 because he had to have B4. Dean Towers. He's 22 years old. He plays for Sydney. Worried about job security there. However, at 22, he won the best young player thing in the VFL, which was also won by Michael Barlow.
It certainly was.
Michael Barlow.
That'll make your ears
But
prick up.
he had an 18-point game against Carlton, but then he had 37 against GWS.
Ooh.
They played GWS first round, so if he can be in there, he could rack him up. All right,
Certainly.
my top 3. Number 3, our boy Jesse Lonigan, looks like a man, absolute beast. He was that size when he was 12 and he was boundary umpire for the OLs.
He was.
He is a machine. Lock him in. 28 points. That was nice against Brisbane. Tom Crouchy for Adelaide. Brad Crouch, isn't it? I'll stuff that up.
Crouchy.
Crouchy,
Go,
whatever
go.
his name is. Crouchy. He's 108 grand. 28% of teams have him, and we should all have him. He had a 25 and a 17, solid. But he apparently had a truckload of it against Fremantle last weekend in the little game that they played.
He's had a couple of years in the system too, hasn't
Yeah.
he? So he's
So-
ready to rock and
and it
roll.
sounds
He's a bit like Jaeger.
Yeah, well, 72% of people need to wake up by the sound of things.
Yeah.
Get him in.
Finally,
He's
number
doing
one.
it.
Number 1, it has to be Kane Mitchell.
It does, yes.
He mature age,
Certainly
all
does.
that. He had a 16-point game against Security, but then a nice 34-point game with 11 touches.
Yep.
He runs around there. He's now got a little picture on the DT website, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And he does look like he could have sung in Slayer.
And recently upgraded as well. He's been promoted.
he's
so.
up on the thing. Right, Roy,
Yeah,
take
he's
us
been-
through some forwards.
Okay, I will. Now,
Do it, Roy.
it's slim pickings in the forward line,
It is.
unfortunately. So it's going to take a bit of thought when you're structuring your team, I think. We're really missing the opportunity to have Brent Staker at a rookie price back there,
we are.
because I'm talking about rookie price players as well here. Tom Lee, someone to have on the radar. He had one good game of 28. When you're having a -4 as well,
I didn't like him, Roy.
It's hard to really be excited about that. Need from Port. I really like a lot about him. I think he's going to be a great player, but he doesn't
Skinny.
look really
He's little.
big enough to be out there
He's
at the moment,
64
does he?
kilos.
64
And
kilos.
you'll lose him behind a blade of grass.
Well, there you go. He scored
Dad's
35. He scored 35, so it shows, he's good. But rumours about when he does get a game, wearing a vest. So
Yeah.
I don't know. How would people even know that?
They
Who
don't,
started
Roy.
that rumour? But anyway,
Idiots.
I'm struggling to get too excited about him
Yep.
in round 1. Now, I'll just go with the top 3. Sam Rowe. Yes, he is behind a lot of big men at Carlton.
Yep.
However, he just looks better than Hampson. Like, he's strong hands. He's just a target
Yep.
up there. He took a couple of really good marks. Hampson, he'll take 1 out of 10, clang the rest
If
of them.
that,
So
Roy.
he is in a long line. However, I think he is there he will make an impact at some stage throughout the year. So even though I'm talking about my 3rd pick, I'm still not confident round 1.
That's how slim it is.
I do like the advantage of him being dual position, though.
Aye.
Does give a lot of flexibility because so many of our rucks have that
Cox is
forward
sitting,
ruck.
yep.
Yeah, exactly right. So keep an eye on him. If he's picked round 1, lock him in, and I'm not joking. Number 2, number 1 draft pick from last year, Big Patton.
Oh, yeah.
He was really injury interrupted
Yeah,
last
he
year,
was.
so he was nothing close to his best. He's about 180,000, so you're paying extra bucks, but is job security there?
For sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is, and that's what you really need with these rookies. He had a 34 and a 25. How do you like those apples?
Yeah.
That's-
Nice.
Yeah, exactly
He's a
right.
big man.
So, big
Saw a couple of
fella
goals
making
in
an
that,
impact.
Sure.
Number 1 now, we were always going to have him. However, just seeing him out there, so obvious that he's in the best 22, looking so comfortable, McCaffer.
Oh, McCaff.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Big
priced
dog.
at 132. He had 28 and 30. I'll tell you what, if you can structure your team so he's the last one on your ground, and then maybe 2 of these other blokes, Patton and say Rowe, if he got a game, that'd be looking pretty good, I
Perfect.
reckon.
No, well, all us 3 new boys have been eased into it a bit. We've all been coming off injuries, so been modified for the first couple of weeks leading up to Christmas. But as the last week came, started to do a little bit more, and when we go back on Wednesday, we'll get stuck into it. So it's been really good at the moment.
Yeah, look, we had a 6-week block before Christmas, so managed to get through all that, and pretty happy with the way I'm going, running, and the way the body's holding up too. So. Yeah, well, obviously, you had to move over there first, and then it's a pretty quick transition from the draft, and then we were practically straight into it. So it's been pretty solid, but they're not making us do everything. They're making us, we're new to the program and stuff. So I guess the heat's probably the biggest factor from coming from Tassie. Coming from max 20 degrees and now you're 30s on average. So it's been good.
I don't know, pretty solid list at the moment, so I'll definitely do everything I possibly can to give myself a crack. I want to be available for round one, but we'll definitely see in the coming months what happens, yeah.
I don't know about that. I know my focus is only on the next 6 weeks, so just concentrating on the training mate at the moment. So I've got another 6-week block before obviously NAB Cup starts. So get through the 6 weeks. The body is obviously the main thing for me, so just make sure to look after that and get through it. But at this stage, I'm pretty confident with the fitness, and we'll step training up and hopefully we'll just get through that.
I wouldn't have a clue. We'll have to just wait and see. There's still a lot of water to pass on the bridge, and we've got a quality team as it is, and it's just going to be hard to crack any side.
Yeah, I'd love to play a half forward role up there with Eddie Betts and Jeffy Garlett would be awesome, and then if I could push through the midfield at some stage, that'd be definitely something I'd strive towards doing. But I guess we'll see what the coaching staff has planned for me and go from there.
Look, I think if any role I could be like a back flanker or running half back or something like that. So I think there's a position there for someone to take, and I think that in the next 6 weeks I'll be definitely training pretty hard and scratch matches and things like that to make sure that's my spot.
I'm happy to play any role, but I guess probably my strength is that contested ball, that inside mid. So hopefully I can get a gig in the midfield, or if not, play a role down half back or half forward. I'm just happy if I get a game.
Yeah, Andrew Walker would definitely be one. His fitness level is elite. His running in every drill we do is always at the top level, and he's definitely one that's definitely impressed me so far.
I think obviously a lot of young guys got the opportunity to play senior footy last year. So there's some of the second-year players that obviously have played footy already, but they've obviously come back a lot bigger and fresher and fitter the next year. I think Clay Smith's obviously one that played well last year, and I think he'll again have another good season. Tommy Campbell, really impressed when he come back, the way he's travelling at the moment. Some first-year players there that might get an opportunity. I think Jake Stringer, obviously seeing how his body goes, he's got the size and shape to probably go straight in and play. So getting a bit fitter, and I think he might be a chance to play this year.
Oh, Jaeger's a machine, that's for sure. He's definitely not an 18-year-old. Same as me, he's a monster now, but he's a hard worker, that's for sure. And he's just a machine. I guess the other boys probably Dave Swallow. He's a pretty workhorse, and obviously Gaz does a lot of work in the altitude room, and he always does the hard yards, so he leads by example.
Alrighty, if you need to get a question answered, jump on the website, but also you can find us through social media. We've got our Facebook page, facebook.com/DT Talk, and our Twitters at CalvinDT, at RoyDT, at WarnieDT, and shoot us through some questions. Yep. We'll try to answer them. We've got a couple. I've picked out a few here.
I answer them. Sometimes these guys
Isn't that the way the world's heading though, with social media?
Social media. All right. Anyway, so I've got a question here. 44 trades. How does that change the way we pick our teams? Does it make guns and rookies the thing, or do we look at mid-prices? Yeah. Well, personally, I think that we can take a few more risks. So therefore, by having 2 trades every week, I think that we can pick those mid-price players with a little bit of an idea about that. Also, maybe some of those guys that might have a bit of injury history that we know's got DT
like
potential.
A Jack Grimes.
Grimesy.
Chapman.
Colin Sylvia.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about it. Anyway, those sorts of guys there, you can maybe pick them. Sean Higgins, I saw in your side, Calvin.
Bullshit.
So that's interesting.
That's not true.
That's a good one. All right, this is one a little bit related to that, Calvin, is that with the 44 trades, we get 2 every week. This question is all about, what do you think about chasing players for their good little runs, fixture trading, as we might call it? Calvin.
I'm not talking to you until you apologise to everyone, because that's not true at all.
He left his team up at my house, and I put...
Anyway, guys that chase players. Okay, for example, we get a lot of messages about Stevie J's out round 1. should I be getting into players who have a wicked run early? And then I'll get Stubby in late. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of that. You've got to also remember, during that period, you could be getting injuries. You could have guys that you've missed that you need to be jumping on. I just don't like chasing players. Chase the scores. Chase good scores from good players, but don't chase trying to anticipate what they're going to score against these teams. It can be very difficult. If that was your thing, then load up on Sydney Swans players. They play GWS and the Gold Coast Suns in the first 2 rounds.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Aren't they just... Well, they should smash the guts out of them. But what are you going to do with them after a couple of weeks when you've got injuries and you've got to fix up your trades? You don't want to get stuck with guys as well. And the other guys to look at, St Kilda. They play the Suns, the Tigers and the Giants. And everyone's like, well, let's get on Nick Riewoldt. That's great, yeah, and he should smash them in the first 3. But what happens if you're still stuck with Nick Riewoldt in round 6? Okay? It's just a bit tough to do, but if you were doing it, hey, they're the 2 teams to get on.
All right, now, Roy, here's a good question for you. We talk about these mid-price players, and there are plenty of options, but in defence, there's a few there that you've looked at.
Yep.
And who do you think?
Well, when you gave me this question, I got a bit excited about it because I did notice a couple of mid-prices going really well in the back line. Here's the deal. I'm usually against picking mid-price players, but at the end of the year when we say, look at these guys that had a breakout year, they were your mid-prices.
They were,
so
Roy.
you need to at least have a look at them. Now, the backline ones I've looked at here. Ben Jacobs, he's come across from Port to North because he wants more opportunity. The kid was a ball magnet as a junior, and North have basically picked him up to be that ball magnet and through the midfield. This is how he repaid them. In game 1 of the NAB, he had 43 from 10 touches.
That's 1 less than Ablett.
So, you know, he's someone definitely to be looking at. Atlee, he's at North as well. He's coming into his 3rd year breakout, and he had 44 from 10 touches in his first game. Slowed up a little in the second one. He only had 12 from 5. But I'll tell you what, he, as an outside mid, because he's got a lot of run and drive forward, he could be definitely fleeing out of the packs through the midfield.
Sure.
So keep an eye out on him. Mega potential breakout. Now, not often you talk about someone coming into their 9th year having a potential breakout, and you will probably bag me for mentioning his name, but hear me out. Richard Tambling.
Yes, gun. I'm getting him.
Okay.
Locking him.
Richard Tambling.
Richard Tambling?
I know. Listen to the price.
Keep going, Roy.
200,000 in the back line, okay? There's injuries in the Adelaide back line that have basically forced their hands, and Tambling is now back in the mix, right? He had 26 in the first game from 7 touches, 36 in the second game from 10 touches.
He's in.
You think he's in?
He is now.
You want to hear how locked and loaded he is?
How?
In 2009, what do you think he averaged?
34.
No, that was the years after that. He averaged 89. So somewhere he actually does have ability. So I'm going to give him the chance.
Well, he's better than Buddy.
Yeah, exactly right. At one stage in his career, he was better than Buddy. So at this stage, 200,000, you can hardly go wrong there. So consider him, okay? Last one, Brandon Ellis.
Yeah,
now,
love him.
I do. He's coming into his 2nd year, which, you know, everyone's a bit sceptical about that. But he had so many vest-affected games last year. 4 vest-affected games where he scored under 50, especially when one of them was 6, really affects his price. He's come out with an obvious role change. He's had 29 from 9 touches and 36 from 9 touches. So he's racked up 18 possessions across the 2 games.
Yeah, right.
Massive.
He's 300,000, so it's a tough one. I'll probably go Tambling over him. However, it's someone to consider. He can bump his average up very easily.
A lot of mid-price value about. Oh, and look at this, we've all got our little green vests on because this year workwearhub.com.au are going to be sponsoring us for our little green vest segment, which Calvin, I'm sure that you'll be... yours fits quite well, doesn't it?
I knew that you were going to say something like
They
that.
custom fit his.
That's a load of rubbish. Anyway,
Taylor.
we get a chance very shortly to find out who's going to get off to a good start here in the fantasy match day game.
Yep.
And it kicks off in the NAB Grand Final.
All right, so make sure, come to our website, there'll be details on the league for that. So once we know the grand final teams, you can start picking a little side there and have fun with that.
Yeah, join our DT Talk group too for the Dream Team.
Sure.
There's thousands of people already in there. We're going to have
Links
great
everywhere.
prizes. So check out what you've got to do to get in that and get in before the start of the season. Why not?
Yep, now one big thing, we now have some stubby holders for this year. the Keep Calm and Lock Swan. Look at this. Even the great man himself has got himself a couple there.
Isn't that the coolest pick going
That is
around?
awesome. He's a champion. So, yeah, get on those details on the website of picking up one of those little puppies. Get them quick before they sell out.
They will sell
They
out.
actually will sell out. Like, we're saying that, but they really will.
They actually will.
Yeah, Mum's already put in a few orders. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll chat to you next time.
Cool. See you.
Wherever that is. See ya.